Is that how you say it? In Hebrew? Hosea. Okay, this is from Hosea 2:18-19. In that day I will make a covenant with them, with the beasts of the field, with the birds of the air, with the creeping things of the ground. Bow and sword of battle I will shatter from the earth, to make them lie down safely. I will betroth you to me forever. That means marry, by the way. Yes, I will betroth you to me in righteousness and justice and loving kindness and mercy. Now, I want to point out about that particular prophecy that the conditions that Hosea, do I have it right? The conditions he's pointing to are conditions that are radically different from the conditions that were experienced under the Mosaic covenant, or Brit, Mosaic, Brit. Anyway, in the Mosaic covenant, the Jewish people couldn't even come into the presence of God. Only the high priest, the main Kohen, could come in, and that was in the holy place only once a year. There was hardly any marriage. In fact, we saw at Sinai that the Jewish people, when God spoke to them from the fire of Mount Sinai, they were terrified and they trembled. And they said to Moses, or Moshe, they said to Moshe, you just tell us what God wants us to do, we'll do it. But as for listening to this God, we can't do that lest we die. So what we find are conditions very opposite when we're talking about the new covenant, very opposite of what we find under the Mosaic covenant. Thank you.
Okay, I'm afraid that you did not even touch the question that I asked you. I mean, you gave us something from Jeremiah, which I'm going to respond to. This is what you said. But before I repeat your quote, I would like to ask a question. This is my question to you. If a person will come and show up in this room and tell us he's Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, and he came to tell us about the salvation that is on the way, right? And we're going to ask him, Mr. Eliyahu, can you prove to us that you are Eliyahu? And he say, what do you mean? The Bible said that God said that I'm going to send you Elijah before I send the Messiah. That's a proof that I am Elijah. What would we say to this person? Would we waste a second with him? Okay. To come and take the text as the Christian church did and read and write a story based on some of the verses that appear in the Bible to match their needs and to match their goals, that's not a proof. That's not a scientific proof, because I can do it just as well as they did. What you quote in Jeremiah, this is what it says over there. It says like this. It says, I'm going to bring the Jews from the land of the north and gather them from the lands. Blinds, cripples, pregnant, giving birth. Large crowd will return here. This is talking about returning to the Holy Land from all the exiles. They will come with tears, and I will lead them. There are days who come, and I will renew the covenant with the Jewish nation, not as we received it for 3,300 years so far, but until this is going to happen, we are going to establish it this time for eternity. As you know, the Jews never, unfortunately, all of the Jews in the world did not stick to the laws. And many of them are not aware of most of the laws. But this time it will be for eternity, which will mean that this covenant that we're going to make is not possible that it's going to contradict what we receive in the Torah. Why? Because in many places in the Torah, and I'm sure you heard it many, many times, the Torah says clearly, this is the Torah for you and your children for eternity. La'ad u'le'olmei olamim means forever, for eternity. Many places in the Torah warned the Jew not to erase one mitzvah from the Torah, or not to modify the Torah in any way, and the punishment for that is execution. if a Jew add any word to the Torah based on his own opinion, or erase the letter from the Torah, something like this has to be cleaned from the nation of Israel. Now, my question to you was, if I'm coming and claiming in front of the crowd that Jesus is the Messiah and he has a divine power, and I'm bringing in my book a quote that he warned his students, those were his original followers, which are much better than the followers today, 2,000 years later. And he told them, be careful not to ever modify the Torah. And not only that, there's one thing I did not mention, but this is one more sentence that he told them. He told them clearly over there, everything the rabbis, Chazal, the sages, the Prushim are telling you, you must do. So we find from here not only that he admits that the written Torah is the truth of God, the oral Torah, which were passed from generation to generation, are 100% valid, and he warned his students not to change. Now we have a serious problem.